Good morning, everybody. This is going to be a quicker one if I can assemble the general notes here real quickly. All right, what does small business look like in America and most of the West going forward? So, before the financial crisis really hit Europe, Southern Europe, all right, everybody knows about Greece and the banking problems and how the problems in Southern Europe have honestly sunk all of Northern Europe. Germany is in the toilet. France is a fucking disaster. And Britain is a fucking basket case, all right? There's no getting around it, all right? Unfortunately, it's just like, well, don't you ever, you can't talk bad about Britain anymore, or most of these countries anymore, because they got not even a grain of sand in their vaginas. They have entire beaches. They have all of the Sahara of sand in their vaginas. All right. You make a joke in the UK, it's the end of the fucking world. Oh my god. She's like, nah, fuck you, fuck all of you. You guys sold out your fucking people a long fucking time ago, and I don't give a shit what the fuck you say. You're all scum for it, and you will not be forgiven by those people. All right. When they finally rise up against you, you will honestly jump off of Buckingham Palace. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, Greece. All right. The banking and financial situation. So, in Greece, one of the things that put Greece in an interesting position in southern Europe, but especially Greece, this was drilled in. A lot of the companies don't actually pay their taxes in Greece. A lot of people in Greece don't pay their taxes in Greece. That's essentially what American small business is going to look like. All right, at least certain branches of American business. That's what they're going to look like going forward. Essentially, we're going to see the Mediterraneanization and the Balkanization of American small business. All right, and it could be summed up as simply as this: Granny slinging illegal biscuits. All right, or illegal muffins. All right, that's what the future is. That's what the future is. Honestly, um, between labor getting squeezed as much as it has, between all the offshoring and all the fuckery that's gone on, businesses and corporations, thought leaders, the billionaire class, um, none of them have followed the rules. Okay. Meanwhile, all the people, all the normal people who have followed the rules have suffered immensely for it. They're paying for everything. They're suffering every way possible. Their wages are inflated to infinity. Property and asset prices are inflated into infinity. These people have fucking nothing. Whether they went to college or not, they got nothing to fucking show for it except massive amounts of fucking debt that they will never be able to fucking pay off because they can't even begin to get a fucking interview for a high paying fucking job that would have justified them going to college in the goddamn first place. So, what are people going to do to respond to this? Increasingly, especially considering the fact, and I can effectively guarantee this, that property taxes are going to fucking explode across the board. It's going to start in the more liberal areas, the more metropolitan, the more classy areas. It's going to start there first, and then it's going to spread further and further into the boonies. All right, because the costs across the board are going up. The shortfall's got to be made up somehow. Okay. So what's going to end up happening is Granny is going to start selling illegal biscuits and illegal muffins, and it's all going to be part of that Noah guy economy. All right. I totally coined that. I don't care what anybody says. The Noah guy economy is the future. All right. Essentially, what's going to end up happening is there are certain laws, USDA laws, state laws, federal laws that are very hell bent on people producing consumables in commercial kitchens and complying with the laws that say your kitchen door has to flip inwards or outwards, and for the federal, It's one, and for the state, it's the other. So you need a door that flips both ways, but you can't just have one, you need to have two to comply. All that bullshit to comply with, people are just going to start fucking ignoring. All right. They're just going to start ignoring it. All right. Following the rules, paying your taxes, being a good little tax slave ain't doing shit for you. All right. Most small businesses die in the first year. Okay. It's not doing anything for anybody to jump through these fucking hoops. So, what's increasingly going to happen, especially as people are more and more cash strapped, as the taxes at the high level and low level continue to increase and the inflation continues to get worse, it continues to compound and make people's lives fucking unbearable. What they're going to do is they're going to start doing black market business. I'm telling you now, there is no undo button for this. There is no undo button for this. Unless the economy magically gets all those fucking jobs that were promised, there's no fucking undoing this, and they have to be high paying jobs, where people can actually afford to fucking live. Because we do have a cost of living crisis. No matter what DJT wants to say, no matter what his hair wants to signal, we do have a cost of living crisis in this country. A lot of it is driven by property cost, but a lot of it's driven by other reasons. Again, won't get into it, but the squeeze is on. So, in order to be able to live, in order for people to be able to keep making their mortgage payments, their car payments, their insurance payments, their payments for their payments, and their payments on their payments on their payments because they fucking overdrafted, in order for people to continue making their payments and in order for things to continue to operate, people are going to increasingly operate in a tax deferred manner, all right, in order to avoid all of the bullshit. All right. Essentially, you're going to end up with grandma selling illegal muffins. That's the nicest way to put it. All right. But it's going to go beyond that. It's not just going to be illegal muffins, it's going to be people producing tomatoes and selling them illegally because officially what the hell was the regulation for it? You can sell produce that you haven't packaged from your own property on your own property. But if you package it in any way, including possibly rinsing it off, technically you have to be licensed and stamped from the USDA or state variants. And you got to comply with all these other fucking regulations. And fuck you. Fuck that bullshit. All right. The future is going to be people slinging illegal tomatoes. I'm not even joking. I'm not even fucking joking. I kind of wish I was, but I'm not. That's one of the future things that's gonna happen. People are gonna be selling illegal fucking tomatoes. You're gonna see that shit in the news. You're gonna see that dumb shit in the news. People getting arrested because they sold a fucking tomato. All right, the sting operations to find the fucking greatest illegal tomato dealer in all of North America. You're gonna see that shit. All right, another perfect example of dumb shit like this, like pre, Ukraine and Russia. The Russians, generally, they overproduce a fuckload of food. So what they do is they load up. Um, I forget what the names of the trucks are, but they load up trucks with produce, and they try to run it over the Polish border. All right, they go into Belarus, and then from Belarus, it's mob connected, of course, but from Belarus, they try to get it into Poland and all the other, Central and Western European countries. And it's just like, bro, bro, the amount of effort you got to go through. Down in the fucking south, we've got fucking cocaine coming over the southern and coming through the southern border. All right. Meanwhile, the fucking Russians, they're trying to fucking smuggle fucking strawberries over the border, and oh my god, we can't possibly have that because they'll destroy our own domestic fucking strawberry producers. And it's like, listen, I get the protectionism, I do, but honestly, all of the shit's coming to an end. Nobody can take this shit seriously anymore. Okay? Nobody can take this shit seriously anymore. The amount of laws and restrictions that exist, the thing is, a lot of people will ride the corporate dick. Like, oh my God, we got to get all these corporations. We got to get them out from under these terrible regulations. And a lot of people don't even fucking realize it was the corporations that wanted those fucking regulations in the first place. Because if you add one extra requirement onto a corporation, it doesn't do a fucking thing to them. But it does do something to you. They lobby for certain changes because it protects them in terms of legal liability. So they know everything that they are allowed to get away with. And it kills any of your small businesses, any of your mom and pops that try to produce some illegal tomatoes, because you have to comply at the same level the major corporate does. And for them, it's an extra 10K off the balance. All right, it's nothing. They can flick that cost off like it's worthless. All right, they literally snort through that amount of money. All right, they don't give a fuck. They burn through that in a fucking second. All right, but for you, you can't afford to comply with all their bullshit. Okay, the corporations want the regulations. All right. And the only regulations that disappear are ones that aren't strong enough and to their liking. Okay. So, what's going to happen as people need to survive, and again, compliance curves. If you make it impossible for people to survive legally, you can bet your fucking ass they're gonna start surviving illegally. If you make it reasonable enough for them to comply, they'll comply. If you make it a fucking ball ache and intentionally obstructive, they're not going to comply. Okay? There's a fucking balance. There's a curve to this, just like the Laffer curve, just like with taxes. It all has a cost, it all has a price to it. Anyway, people are going to start slinging illegal tomatoes. All right. They're going to be making illegal prepackaged dinners. All right. And they're not going to give a fuck what the USDA thinks. They're not going to give a fuck what their own state health regulators think. All right. It'll be a wink and a nod, know a guy kind of thing. All right. Because you can pay $30 for a pizza that's worth a damn, or from an actual shop, a licensed location, or you can pay $15 for a pizza. You don't necessarily know where it was cooked. You don't necessarily know if there were cats or if there was anything that could have touched a peanut. You don't necessarily know for sure. But you dabble in the black market tomato economy, you take risks with it. You just hope that the people who produce the black market tomatoes, however ridiculous I know it sounds, you just have to hope that they do the due diligence to inform you that it may have gone across an assembly line, that may have won an assembly line, that it went down some kind of cheap discount conveyor built by Uncle Bobby in the shed one day, that it never came in contact with motor oil, WD-40, or a single drop of peanut oil. Okay? I'm not going to lie, there's going to be risks to it. But the thing is, Uncle Tony's tomatoes are going to be the cheapest ones that you can get. And they're going to be better. They're going to be better and they're going to be cheaper. Versus what you get in the store, which is going to be more expensive and shit. This is where things are going. Especially now, as the costs continue to get worse, people are going to try to make every ounce of profit that they can. If they have a spare plot of fucking land, if they have a little bit of grass in the yard, fuck it, tomato plant. All right, that's how things are gonna go. All right, now given that's if things go more slowly. If things go to hell in a handbasket incredibly rapidly, black market tomatoes will be the last of your concerns, least of your concerns. Things go to hell rapidly. There's very much the push for domestic weapons and arms production. I can tell you this much. If the economy goes to hell in a fucking handbasket, fuck illegal tomatoes. People will be making their own DIY munitions. Alright? It'll get fucked up real quick. Anyway, I think I'll end it here. You guys have a good one. This is not me outwardly sponsoring. Let me get this out of the way first. This is not me directly endorsing any behaviors that might be counter to any established laws in the books. Absolutely, you should stay above board. Okay. This is not me sponsoring anything. This is just a product of personal opinion and does not represent the Spades Consulting LLC. You should absolutely comply and maintain compliance with any regulatory body that might apply to you and your circumstances, in any and all circumstances, and play by the rules and don't get burnt. You know the deal. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I'll see you next time. If you're interested in personal or business consulting, stop by www.spaceconsulting.com. Even though it's not up there, I'm going to pretend it is. Without the dash, if you are interested in written content, stop by the Substack, linked below in the description box and on the nav on the site. It will be over there, somewhere over there in the nav to the website. And if you appreciate and like the video, like, favorite, sub, do all the things, hype it, leave a comment, tickle the bell, ring the bell, ding the bell, do all the things to your heart's content that you want to the bell. And I will see you next time. You guys have a good one.